Gnothi Seuton, love, peace, blessing, all manner of healing to those who need it, health, wellness, abundance. Something good is going to happen to you today. Prosperity, love, goodness, happiness, joy, laughter unto you. And so cool, so amazing when we think of, the visual model of the atom. You have the nucleus and you have the electron spinning around it, which really turns out to be more like a pulse. If you haven't looked at any updated versions of, a picture of the atom, there's a lot of GIFs and, videos that show a more accurate portrayal of the path of the electron. But I'm sure we all remember when we were learning these things, we were taught that the space in between the nucleus and the electron path is empty. And it turns out that it's not empty. There's actually consciousness in there. And it's mind, universal mind. Whatever you're comfortable with saying, the mind of God. Just a lot of really, really incredible information that has been released, and again explains in just different terminology what the ancients have been telling us all along. But anyway, all of that space in there, I don't know if I can do it without, I think it's 99 to the 14th. There's the 13th. So anyway, it would be like all that empty space is related to the matter of the neutrons, the electrons. That empty space is 99.999999999% of the atom. And so powerful when we look at it. And we don't look at it as, that doesn't make sense, the left brain or the ego or the part of us that has been programmed to struggle, to question, to doubt, to worry, to be in fear, is going to, argue with that or, turn that into a problem. But the truth of the matter is that consciousness totally rules. It really does rule everything. And so sometimes, what we've been influenced to think of as empty space, and which creates a feeling of separateness, it creates a feeling of loneliness, it creates a feeling of being just very, very small and insignificant. On the other hand, it turns out that it is the majority by far. And so what does that mean? Well, that means that all of these things that most of us in this current moment in the human story have been distracted by, all of the things that make us think we have to be a human having stuff instead of a human being, power, energy, consciousness, being the overwhelming majority that is the 99.99999999999, maybe an extra 9% of everything. I mean, it's incredible. And where is that? I mean, we have access to all of that through our mind and through our thinking. And that's why a lot of ancient teaching has told us that true yoga or true energy work or true connection to that which is real is by removing the modifications of the mind that we have received from the time of infancy until now. And so in other words, we came into this experience, this human experience, with all of the original software perfectly intact. It's just become corrupted by the influence and very, very powerful, again, to discover that these influences, probably best for you to discover them yourself and to, come to your own conclusion. But these influences feed off of negative human energy, almost exact. Not very, very similar to the Matrix movie, where there is a false, synthetic AI type awareness that can only survive by being fed by human energy. And when you look back and, in our recent time, you discover the people that the Roman Church Empire specifically, tried to eliminate, specifically tried to remove from the planet and get rid of all their influence. Usually those are the influences that were telling us what we need to know about this toxic, parasitic influence that needs us to live off of. And again, we don't want to get upset, we don't want to get angry. Again, that just feeds them more. And we don't want to be all high and mighty either, because, beloved, those of you who, are animal eaters, that's what you're doing. You're preying on a weaker species to survive. And so that's exactly what these entities are doing. And again, there's no condemnation. That's the cool thing about Kenothi Seutan. Know yourself. We are each discovering ourselves. We're each discovering our own true path. We are each discovering the truth that sets us free. Somebody can tell us something, and somebody can say something, and we can totally believe it, but it can be completely backwards. It can be completely wrong. And you'll notice that all of these influences are connected to our energy field, our etheric being, our energetic source. But consciousness, again, the 99.99999999999 or somewhere in there percent is more powerful. It's certainly by far the majority, and it can overrule everything underneath it, which is everything. Everything that we consider reality based on what we can see according to the light spectrum that the human eye is able to observe, which again is a very, very, 0.005%, very, very small. So when we recognize that our consciousness is, first of all, more powerful, second of all, never been disconnected, it's always stays there. The ancient Essene saying is that we are all crowned in Yah. So the point of our mental connection, from our crown to all of creation, all creative power, that cannot be disconnected. And it doesn't matter what someone told you. It doesn't matter how evil you think you may have been. A lot of people who were in the, a lot of people have, modern Christian influence. Again, that which was handed down by the Roman Empire's church. We're taught that, you can lose your salvation, and my goodness, just the torment that some people have been through, that teaching, combined with everything else that came out of, that influence is just terrible. But the truth is, you can never be disconnected. And, we are always crowned in Yah, crowned in the true Creator, crowned by the true Yahweh. Of course, there's a false Yahweh, a Yahweh that tried to convince human beings that that Yahweh was the real Yahweh, but it's the murderer, it's the killer, it's the manipulator. Again, it's the whole system that needs to feed off of human energy. The real Yahweh does not need a human sacrifice, does not need anything, does not need suffering, does not require suffering. And in this realm of free will, allows us the freedom to choose. So with that consciousness understanding, Genothi Seutan, know the truth, and the truth shall set you free and put you on a path of gnosis, put you on a Gnostic path of understanding that you know and experience for yourself, and nobody can convince you otherwise because you personally know it. And when you have your own knowledge, you have your own power. When you have your own power, you are personally empowered and sovereign in your own life and have the ability to live your own authentic life. And when we're all living our own authentic life, of course, nobody wants to harm each other. We know the truth, and the truth sets us free. And then we truly do restore our planet Earth back to the original garden paradise. Love, peace, blessing unto you. Genothi Seutan. Namaste.